Thank you for stopping by. I'm out here on the range today with my buddy Kurt, and we have something extremely special in our hands today. This is the Zermatt Waltz 9. This thing made one heck of a splash at SHOT Show. It's been all the buzz, and I was lucky enough that prior to SHOT Show, I had reached out to Zermatt because I saw this getting a little bit of buzz. I followed Joel Park and Bitstager, and they were talking about it a little bit, and I thought, gosh, dang, that looks like an awesome gun.
Yeah.
So I reached out to Zermatt prior to SHOT Show and made a connection with Dave Petta, and was lucky enough to kind of have him say, hey, I've seen some of your videos. I would be willing to, I'd love to have you test one.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, I don't know if I've got time. Like, my schedule's so busy with, the size of my channel and stuff. I just, people lining up to send me guns.
So many.
No. Dave was awesome and sent this out for me to test it. We have not fired this thing. We have pulled the trigger enough to just go, oh, wow, that's awesome, right?
Amazing.
This thing is outstanding. I am blown away at the trigger on this gun. Like, it is freaking awesome. It's got a very tactile reset. So we're going to, without cutting real quick, actually, I need to do my little intro. We'll skip it this video. How's that? All right. So without cutting, we're just going to load this up. I've got one mag with 147s, one mag with 124s. We're going to run it real quick, shooting a steel plate. We'll do 10 rounds a piece out of the first 2 mags, and then we'll stop and get some, unless we just get giggling beforehand. We might end up stopping, but we're gonna run this is the very first rounds we've put through this gun.
Absolutely.
We're gonna give it heck. You ready?
I'm ready.
All right, I'll do 10 rounds here out of the 147s. Here we go. I let that drop. That's my fault. There we go. You good?
Good.
All right. Here we go. I don't even know what I'm at.
Me neither.
That's awesome. Now, I will point out, we currently have this on the limited optics configuration. So this is the solid barrel block that's on there. Kurt, I'm going to have you take this from me real quick. Carefully, if you would. Why don't you finish off that mag.
All right. Zero effort.
Yeah. Here, why don't you do the 124s first?
All right. 124.
I'm on my...
Yes.
All right, here we go.
Unbelievable.
All right, so reaction, Kurt, what do you think?
Recoil is almost, as close to zero as you could possibly get, I think.
I'm gonna have to put like my SIG P211 with the sight block on it in my hand.
Mm-hmm.
But that feels, it feels flat like a comped gun.
Yeah. And that's with the solid sight block.
Yeah. So, that's awesome. That trigger is quick. It's nice. I like the reset on it. They've got the SRO on it, which is a great optic, good sight window and everything.
Yeah.
But not adding a ton of weight or anything to the gun. It's smooth. The grip fits my hand well. I've got a big hand, and so a lot of times that's tough for me to get my palm in there, but I got good purchase on the gun.
Yeah, the grip texture on there is awesome too.
Yeah, so there's 2 different types of grip that can come on this gun. One is a metal grip with kind of a, just metal, like a sort of a 2011 kind of a grip to it, like just metal that's got the etchings in it, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And then there's the grip tape version. I like grip tape on my guns, and so when I was talking to Dave, I was like, hey, if you've got a grip tape version, I think that's probably what I'd like. So that's what he sent me, and I love it. Like,
it fits in your hand so well.
Yeah, it's, and the other thing I like is the mag well comes down far enough that it's not impeding my grip. Like a lot of
Cramping your
times,
fingers.
yeah, a lot of times I'm gonna change it this way. A lot of times, especially for me, a mag well here will dig into my palm up higher, just the way that they shape them. But my entire hand fits on this gun really well. I want one.
I want one.
I want one. Wow.
Dave, if you're listening, we'll take two. Please.
That's exactly. Yeah, amazing first impression. Let's load some mags and let's party.
Let's do it.
Okay. Here we are with the Waltz 9. First thing I wanted to do, let's see what that trigger pull is like. Dead on at 2 pounds. Make sure you can see that. Dead on at 2 pounds. It's been consistent. 2 pounds every single time I pull that trigger. The slide is so smooth. This is the tightest striker fired gun I've ever held. This thing is absolutely build quality on par with the top end 2011s. I'm very impressed. I do have, this is the solid block barrel. It did come with 2 barrels. So this is the solid block barrel. The comped barrel will get swapped over to it for some of the testing as well. So far, everything here on the bench, absolutely outstanding for this Zermatt Arms Waltz 9. All right, Kurt, what do you got?
I got a Metgar mag, steel mag for the Glock 18 rounds. I have Springer Precision base pads on there. They're +5, so 23 rounds total.
Nice.
And
It'll tell us how the Metgar bags run, huh?
let's see what it can do.
No lock back, but that's
No
your
lock
competition mag?
These are my competition mags, yeah.
So to be expected. Excellent. That ran great.
Yeah.
Okay. Friend. Okay, so this is not a mag that I normally run out of this. This is a 25 round mag, YouTube. But what we're gonna do, I want to find out. This is an MBX Glock style mag, so I want to see if it'll run out of this gun. Just with testing magazine compatibility here real quick. So, and these are 115s. That's the other thing. This is S&B 115 right here that we're shooting. Well, I think it ran it. Shoots the 115s good.
Yeah, MBX mag too.
MBX mag just fine.
Good.
Yeah.
Nice.
I wouldn't go beyond like 25 rounds though. Yeah, that'd be a little much probably.
Can't have more than a 30 round mag on YouTube.
Okay, I haven't left the bench yet. I'm just kind of seeing how intuitive this gun is. So taking it apart, thinking like regular 2011 kind of a scenario there. Tiny bit of pressure that pops straight through at the point where you would expect it to, where the notch is, and it just pops right out. And then this functions similar to a Glock. The slide won't come off, so you pull the trigger and then the slide's going to come right off. Let's do that. YouTube magic. Okay, now that that's apart, this piece just comes out. This is unique. We'll talk about that here in a second. Let me get the spring out of here. Make sure YouTube doesn't get mad at me here for my showing of how things disassemble. Okay, spring out. Very similar to any other 2011 on the market, or any 2011 on the market. This is cool. Okay, there's your reverse plug, right? Metal. See that sig? They got that right the first time. Sorry. And then that just slides right out the front. Now, looking at it, you can kind of tell, but my understanding is this entire piece is from a single piece of steel. So this is not a removable block. It actually comes with a separate barrel that has the comp. Goes back together like you'd expect. Reverse plug. Again, if I show complete assembly, YouTube tends to get pissed, so just, there we go, normal stuff. Then there's this piece. Seems intuitive, the flat part goes forward, so I've just been sliding this forward. That slips into place, just like that. And there we are. Simple as that. Now, this just slides back in place. We'll do another YouTube magic here. Ready? Magic. Okay. Now, I want to show you this. Get this back to the spot where you'd expect it to go in, right there. And guys, that thing just kind of falls into place. There's no beating this with a mallet. There's no like having to tap it into place. Look at this. Done. Things in place, locked. It is, yeah, it's cool. Last thing I'll show you, the reset. So you can see the trigger here has this. There we go. See that? That's basically the trigger safety. And you can feel it, but it's not, it's comfortable, it's not in the way, but it's very tactile. Like, you know your finger's on that safety, and you know when you hit the wall. Like, you can tell exactly when it is. But what that does is, again, here, just dry fire here at the bench, when you get the reset, that's one of the most tactile, strong resets I've ever felt on a striker fired gun. And the reason is, as you release and it resets, that the spring load in here, you feel it kind of, it feels like it almost bounces on your finger just a little bit, that spring, and man, you feel that reset. Like, there is no doubt that the thing reset. There's so many times you can't tell that a trigger reset, and you end up, even experienced shooters, you'll see in videos and things, I do it all the time, where I don't feel the reset, and so my finger, I keep doing this, right, over and over, and my finger keeps coming off the trigger. With this, because I can feel exactly when that reset hits, that's going to be a fast trigger, guys. That's really, really cool. Anyway, initial assessment, initial disassembly of the Waltz 9. It's looking awesome so far. Okay, we're back. I know it didn't feel like we were gone that long, but we've been gone just a minute because I had to make a little swap. We have swapped the barrel out, and now we have the comped barrel on here, which I'm so excited to shoot.
I mean, can it get better?
I don't know, man. These are the 124s. Typically with the comp, the higher velocities are more impacted by the comp. So going with 124s, we'll see how that runs, and then we can go to 115s from there.
Yeah.
All right. There we go.
All day.
Do you have a mag?
I have a mag.
Dude. Wow.
Man, I tell you what. I honestly can't imagine this being any better, so I'm pretty excited.
Right?
Oh my gosh. It's like it's just dancing in the center of that window.
Yeah,
It's
so
just
that is
dancing.
that is on par as soft as any comped Atlas. And we were shooting the Airbus the other day.
Yes.
And that's every bit.
Yeah. If
you handed me that gun and I was blindfolded, you could not convince me that's a striker fired gun.
absolutely not.
I am holding a top end
2011.
2011, an Atlas, a Sand Viper. I'm holding
Yeah.
something.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's
That's an amazing gun.
speechless.
I'm gonna try and have a conversation with Dave. I want to understand the mechanics of how that block in there works.
Yeah.
Because it's interesting. It's got a roller on the back of the block that somehow, man, it's that mixed with magic fairy dust
Yeah, for sure.
and just some brilliant engineering.
I mean, just watching you take it apart, it was like I thought 100%. I mean, it just mirrors taking apart a double stack 1911,
Yep.
2011.
And it comes apart and it goes together with a
easy.
fingertip. Yeah, it's super smooth,
Easy.
but very tight tolerances. But then you get into it and there's that block in there, and it's
Yeah.
the one thing that's like, what
Where did this
contraption
come
is this?
from? Yeah.
Okay, so honest take. So
Yeah.
this gun is going to be in the K range,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
So would you buy one at that?
As a competition shooter, not having to mess with a thumb safety and have
A
it
trigger
shoot
like that?
just as smooth. Yeah. I would buy it.
Yeah, I would take that over a 2011 all day.
Absolutely.
I mean, I genuinely would. I'm a striker fired guy. That's what I really like.
Yeah.
And I have gone to the 2011 world
Sure.
because
You can't beat the trigger. You can't beat the.
there's advantages,
Yeah,
right? Like there
absolutely.
just is. Not anymore. Like genuinely, not. I don't see why. Now, the money, right? So
Yes.
my 2K11 is half
Yes.
of this.
Yes.
So man, for a budget and guys, forgive me. I understand that the majority of my few viewers are not probably thinking, oh yeah, I just have that extra $5 laying
I'll
around
pick it up.
somewhere. Yeah, it's okay. I'll
pick
go
that
get
up.
some. I'll trade in some of my best scar. We're good, right? Like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
but
No, this is definitely something that I would invest.
and I would sell a
100%.
couple guns to get it
Absolutely.
in a heartbeat.
Yes.
In a heartbeat. Okay, well, first shots video. I don't know that a gun has ever made that kind of first impression on me. There's guns that I've liked. I like my 2K11. I really like that gun. I like the P211, that SIG P211. That's
Yep.
one of my favorite guns. I
Yep.
love that gun. Again, it's about half of this.
Yep.
But I have shot Atlas. I have shot the Sand Viper. I have shot the Nighthawk.
Mm-hmm.
None of them made me go, whoa,
Yeah.
that's something different.
And you've got so many companies that are building their platforms around Glock mags.
Yeah.
And
Now
this is definitely one to add.
that's
to the,
another something interesting to talk about real quick is that the grip angle.
Yeah.
It doesn't have the feel of a Glock grip angle. So
No,
what he's
absolutely
done is he's shaped it to your hand in a way that the sight picture is totally natural. It's where my hand comes up, where, and look, I've shot Glocks for a long time. If I switch platforms and come back to Glock, I'm automatically going,
where's the dot?
And I'm having to force it down every time. I'm having to break my wrist down.
100%.
For shooting Glock mags, and I think you have a platypus. So same kind of thing, right? The
same kind of thing, yeah. So the platypus, Glock mags, but it has that natural point of aim, so you're not having to break your wrists down to get that dot in there.
Yeah. The weight on this makes it shoot flat. The comp was like you said, I don't know how much better it can get. No, it got better.
Yeah, 100%.
It noticeably better. And the ability to swap like that fast, what did it take me? One minute, 2 minutes?
Yeah.
To swap it out, take the barrel. It works just like you do on a 2011. Slid the slide off. You do pull the trigger like you would on a Glock. So you had to disengage the trigger, right? Slid it off, came out, pulled the reverse plug like you would on a 2011, popped that little. Now it's easier than 2011 because when you're putting it back together, all you have to do is compress the spring down the guide rod, and then so the guide rod goes forward, and then you drop the little block in there and put the spring back in place. It's like you've got a little door you open, and the block goes in and it comes back in place.
There's no popping up of the guide rod, like trying to get that tamed down.
I never felt like I was handling a loaded grenade waiting to throw parts everywhere. Not once. Like it's very well put together. It's and then putting it back in place again, you just slide it back in place, it clicks in, and then with the tip of your finger you push that the slide catch through there, just click, like it was smooth.
So nice.
So I'm a fan.
Well, Danny, I have been wanting to shoot this gun. I've been wanting to even put my eyes on this gun ever since I have heard any little inkling about this gun, and I appreciate you giving me the opportunity to shoot this thing.
I'm glad you came out. This is fun. All right. Well, we're probably going to go off camera now because we're just going to bore the heck out of you. Maybe I'll throw some footage in here, but I'll give you some slow motion, some flat shots and stuff. But we're going to throw some lead. Until then, stick around to next time. I'm going to do a lot of reviews on this thing, so if you're interested in seeing more about this, do the whole stereotypical like and subscribe thing for me if you would. It does help out, and it will. I'll get you some good content on this. We're going to do a comparison in about a week. We're going to lay out every limited optics gun we can get our hands on, and then we're going to go to every competition and striker fired gun we can get our hands on. I'm going to give you a lot of comparisons. I've only got a few weeks with this gun, and I promise you I'm going to make the most of it. So subscribe and come see some of that content. And if you're around in Arizona and you're seeing this and you're thinking, hey, I wonder if that guy still has it, message me. We'll see if we can get your hands around this thing, because it's incredible. So with that, thanks again for stopping by. We'll see you out on the range.